Hello and welcome to day 9 of this 12 days of Yule, which is a random slap bang pile up of lots of different traditions all on top of each other, and we're just going with this theme. So the theme for today, going over two traditions. So we're having from the more pagan times or traditional times in folklore in this country, would have been a time for something called mummying. And what that was you would dress up as somebody else and mimic them effectively, which doesn't generally sound like a great idea because you'd hurt them, no doubt. But I'd want to take on the tradition of what that has in there because there's something about dressing up in clothing and and going and acting something out. There's something about acting things out. We all act something out. We all play roles and act things out. And I would just like to say, if anybody does have an idea for going out and mimicking somebody else, just remember that it's all projection. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if you can see it out there, you need to be turning the finger pointing in and looking at where that is you. But the meditation we're going to do today, because of this structure, because lessons can be quite hard, is to be gentle with ourselves, is to be really gentle with ourselves. Because if we're looking introspectively, particularly in the dark time, which we should really have done most of the introspection already, because we're coming into the light now, we need to be sort of lifting out of it. So all I'm going to do is suggest that we look at lessons that we've learned that we already know really quite well. We're not going to bring them into this right now today, but just establish a base of feeling okay to look. So that's one aspect of what I've based the theme on. And the other side of it is the Nordic take. And the Nordics, day 9 is the day of Odin from what I've read and I understand about the tradition. And Odin was the god of war and death. And although that sounds like a terribly horrible thing because we seem to perceive death in this horrible way when actually it's just a progression of the next stage of life when we reach the end. I again want to look at this more of like an ego death or a character death, a part that we just don't want to play anymore. Because this is the time where we're weighing up, like we've said before, what we want to take forward into the new seasons as they're arising, and what we want to just leave behind. Leave it, cut it out, we've done with it, it's dead. So this is all about inner work. So what is it? And I'm sort of looking at, we play roles like we might play the teacher, the mother, the driver, the pedestrian, the anything, any kind of role that we would play. But the ones that probably don't work for us so much anymore will be aspects of any one of those roles. So it might be the victim, it might be the poor perpetrator in something. It's just whatever role. It can be any kind of role that you're just done with. I'm not playing that role anymore. I don't want to play it. I've had enough of it. I keep going down this groove, and I want to stop. And so this is how I'm linking it in. So the mummying is kind of like identifying, okay, this is the role that I'm playing, and Odin is coming in and going, which are the ones you've finished with? Please hand them over because you don't need them anymore. And just to kind of acknowledge it, because there's another aspect to the pagan side, which is where the horse would be used in this, because the horse would be carrying the spirits. So if you're going to get on your horse, a horse is an expensive thing. It's not like I'm just going to take a trip down to the shops in the car and whack back again and backwards and forwards if I forgot something. You're going to really want to be really clear before you set out on a journey. what it is that you're going to do. So so it's kind of like you're being given a horse to ride. Respect that. Okay, so what are you going to bring into life before you gather up your stuff and ride off into the sunset to do whatever it is you're going to do this year and in these seasons? Okay, so before we really head into that, because again, this is the time of just setting the ground straight. We're not actually going to do anything. We're not actually going to tally through all of the lessons antagonistically. We're just going to kind of set the base. And so the base needs to be a kind and gentle space, a kind and gentle heart, a safe space, some kind of a safe space that you can enable yourself to be honest with yourself and just look at it. And again, this to me is coming back to that stillness, that kind of quiet space that meditation is. It might be sitting as part of a sangha, which is like a spiritual community which comes together to meditate. It might be going and sharing with somebody special, or maybe a therapist, or maybe just a friend that you know you can really, really trust, and sitting and sharing there. Or it's just an inner space, and that's all we can create in this space. So to make sure that we've got that in place, um, we need to think about the words we're going to use with ourselves. So we need to think about, I love you no matter what. I forgive you no matter what. And these are the words, this is the language that we need to have going on inside. It's okay. I don't mind what you've done. I love you anyway. It's okay. It's okay. I trust that I can find another way. I trust that I can hear and respond to from my intuition, from my deepest wisdom and my deepest knowing, and the deepest, most unconditional love I have for myself. And it might be that we need to feel that we have spirits around us and protecting us, and that we know that we're doing everything for our highest good. Because if we do it for our highest good, it will be for the good of everyone else. It might be that we could trick ourselves in that, but what we do have to be very careful of is that sometimes we can go with a collective belief and really believe that that's the right way because people say it is and it should be, and because of this and because of that, and we have these reasons. But do we really know that? You know, in order to really cross-examine that, you really do have to come back to a deep place of knowing, is that really true, or is this the right way? So it's kind of like we're sort of setting a bed for being really kind to ourselves, and also being able to discern what the right way is. So we're just going to hold this. We're just going to hold this thing. The main thing to focus on today is the kindness, because tomorrow we're going to look more at what we want to do. Today is, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. That's it. That's all we know. Okay. Okay. So if you come to a space of rest within, you might want to really put your hand on your heart for this one, because these things can be very difficult. And so you could go with the intention of acknowledging lessons learned. You might have one that's burning since we started this and you can't get it out of your head. But if you haven't, you don't have to go searching around. What we're just going to do is come into ourselves And just, is it okay? Just ask yourself, is it okay for me to receive the lessons that I've learned or the feedback that I really need to listen to and still be okay with myself? How is it possible to do this? What is it that I need to feel? And it might well be that at this stage where we're going quite calm and we're just establishing the base, that it might be that you need to wrap yourself up. It might be that you need to really huddle and make yourself cozy. And it is all about coming into yourself, not necessarily seeking outside. You can seek help from friends and people that you know can support you. But just coming into my shell, it might need to be like this. Can I learn the lessons? Dare I look? Is it okay to peep? Just have a look and see, is this something I could cope with right now? And still coming back to this, I love myself no matter what. I love myself no matter what. I don't want to do that anymore, and I am letting it go. I let it go and really feel that. What does that feel like to really let it go? Really pull it out of the body. I let it go. I let go of that roll. I'm going to shake it off. I'm going to shake off my skin. I'm just going to let it go. Shake it, pull it out your hair. Happy day 9.